Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bill Levinson, Managing Partner with Levinson and Associates. With me today, we have Joseph Loughran, our Marketing VP, and then we have one of the top DI specialists in the country, in my opinion, and I think you will agree after this quick 45 to 50-minute training. So, real quick, obviously everyone is aware with what's going on in the country, and I'm sure a lot of us are working from home right now. Just a few things that I want to mention before diving in. We are still working here in our South Florida home office. We have a few working remotely, but most of us are here in the office right now, and I want you to feel comfortable knowing that if anything does change, we are 100% set up to work remotely, and we will not skip a beat. So that means someone will be here to answer the phones. If the call has to be transferred to one of our employees, we will all be here just as if nothing changed. But the bottom line is we're processing your business, ordering exams, following up, we'll run quotes, help with product knowledge, all the above. So no matter what, could be a hurricane here in South Florida or this horrible coronavirus issue, we are not going to miss a beat. And that's my promise to you all since day one, and 22 years later, the same exact thing goes. Okay, so with that said, I hope everyone is safe through all of this and obviously listens to the media and does the right thing. Joe, if we can mute the phones, that would be great. Okay, and what I wanted to do was give you a quick overview on today's presentation. What we're going to talk about, and I don't care if you've never sold a DI policy, if you're a veteran in the DI space, even better. If you sold a few DI policies here and there, that's fine too. Everyone is going to walk away with a sales idea strategy that will help you, especially while you're at home selling over the phone. And I'm going to point out a few statistics here that when I saw this and went over this, I said to myself, what a great opportunity for any insurance agent, financial advisor. There's not a better time than now to bring up disability insurance. And do you have a policy? Okay, think about this real quick. America has 127 million full-time workers today, okay? The Council for Disability Awareness reports 27% of working Americans have group disability insurance. That's 34.2 million, okay, leaving about 93 million without coverage, okay? Again, opportunity. The 2016 GenRe Disability Market Survey reports 3.2 million individual DI policies in force. That leaves 90+ million uninsured. Okay, the potential of selling DI is huge. And I'm going to share this last statistic here. The U.S. Social Security fact sheet states about 100 million working Americans do not have a disability income policy today. Okay, so do you think the opportunity is there? Do you think that you should know enough to be dangerous to bring this up? Okay, especially on a phone call, calling your existing book of life insurance clients or annuity clients, whatever the case is, bring this up. Do you have a disability policy in case something were to happen to you where you can still pay your bills and necessities and get by until you're back on your feet? It's a very simple question. This is a hugely untapped market, in my opinion, and that's why I brought on Bob Herman to dive in and share some great strategies. He's going to talk a little bit about principals products as well. They have a great niche in the DI space. In my opinion, one of the best that there is today, okay, is Principal on the DI side. Me and Joe are also going to share some guaranteed issue products. We have non-medical products, direct to consumer, okay? I mean, this could literally be as easy as a quote, apply through an e-app, and policy is done through electronic policy delivery or a mail policy via snail mail in a week. Okay, so we made this very, very simple, and we've teamed up with one of the best, that's Principal and Bob Herman. So Bob's going to dive in about 5 to 10 minutes. I just want to share some other things real quick. We're going to give away at the end of today's presentation your choice of an Amazon Echo or Amazon Fire tablet. And what we're going to do is, and you must be paying attention for this, we're going to ask a simple question at the end of the presentation in about 40 minutes. Whoever answers first, and obviously it has to be correct, wins your choice of the tablet or the Echo. Okay, you just tell us which one you want. We will mail it out this afternoon. It's that simple, but you have to pay attention and write down notes, because the answer to that question is in one of these slides that me and Joe are going over. Okay, so we're going to make this very simple. We're going to try to make it fun and bring some light into this this horrible time that we're all going through right now. And by the way, let me just say this. You know, we have in the last 10 days, 7 to 10 days, I would say, we are getting more insurance quote requests and annuity quote requests than ever before. We just got in our largest application in history. Okay, I don't know if it's due to the virus or not, whatever the case is, we're talking about a $650,000 life insurance case, 650 grand of annualized target premium. Okay, and I guess the point I'm trying to make is, yes, this is a horrible time, and yes, you know, we need to do our best and be positive, and but even more important is help your clients with whatever they need. Okay, I mean, if it's to bring up a life insurance quote, disability, make the calls now, especially while you have this extra time. You know, I saw a cute marketing piece from a life insurance agent yesterday. And, you know, he put together a cool little graphic picture, and he e-blasted it out to all of his prospects and clients across the country. And it says, click here so we can run a life insurance quote for you, and we will mail you one piece of toilet paper or one roll of toilet paper. And, you know, and yes, it's funny, it's cute, you know, he's trying to make light of a bad time. But the bottom line is it made somebody laugh, just like Bob and Joe just did on this call. Okay, but it's time to get creative. Now is the time. We've never been through this before. Okay, and yes, we're going through it, like it or not. So pick up the phone and help your clients and turn this into some kind of positive where you win, the client wins, and everyone is happy. Okay, so without further ado, I want to introduce Joseph Loughran. He's going to jump right in and show you some of the disability training resources. And then, Joe, as soon as you're done, we'll dive into the podcast, and then we'll introduce Bob.
Great, thanks, Bill. So before we jump in and hear from Bob here, I want to let everyone know the Levinson & Associates website has some awesome DI resources. Right here, I'm showing you a screenshot of the product tab. You can click on disability income, access every single one of our carriers. We also have some really neat client tools where they can look at calculators, they can look at quotients. You can even look at different email marketing tools, client pre-approach letters, all the marketing pieces, especially some of the things that Bob's going to be covering today, you can access once you log into that agent website already at your fingertips. We're constantly updating that with new materials so you can kind of go out and start that DI conversation. We also have a very, very fast quote system here. If you go under quotes and click on disability quote request, you'll be able to fill out a form that gets sent directly to our marketing team here in the office. We'll actually send you all the quotes same day. We'll look at all the top options and send you all the supporting documentation you need. And one thing that we did market today, which we're going to be sending out to all attendees, is this awesome DI seller's guide. So this is jam-packed, full of information to kind of help you start the DI conversation, tools to help you sell, help you understand underwriting, and then also tools for closing the sale on DI products. So a lot of great information, resources went into this. We're going to send that out to everybody. I think it will definitely help you not only start that conversation, but kind of uncover some new business with the different types of prospects and different marketing concepts that are inside of that platform. So really, really neat tool. It's got multiple pages of information, but definitely something to kind of kickstart your DI sales for 2020.
Okay, good stuff, Joe. So this is our last slide, and then we're going to introduce Bob Herman, our guest speaker. So real quick, this is the Bill Levinson Experience podcast channel. And, while you have plenty of time, okay, most of you are working from home right now, or even if you're not, if you, well, I can't say go to the gym because most gyms are closed, but if you do, let's say a walk around the block tonight, or yoga, or Pilates, or walk on the beach, whatever it is, it's a great time to throw in your earbuds, okay, and listen to some great training podcasts and motivation and inspiration. These are people that walked your walk, okay, and that are very, very successful in the insurance space. And I'm going to point out just a few. Some are insurance related, some are not. The top left corner is the American League home run record holder, Jorge Soler, plays for the Kansas City Royals. He's got a great story. I interviewed him for an hour, and it talks about how he grew up in Cuba and how he's so motivated and disciplined and focused, and how he went from, this little boy with literally nothing to, signing a $30+ million contract. And he's still in his 20s. So his story is awesome, very inspiring, motivating. I'm just going to point out a couple more here. So we have we have 3 MDRT speakers, okay, that are very successful agents of ours. The last one, this guy is known as Mr. Disability. When you hear his story, his name is Wally. And when you hear his story, he's been doing this since 1965. And he's going to talk about some disability selling stories and success stories, and how his clients thanked him, after they received their monthly benefit check, and how he changed their life. We're launching that one. It just happens to be today. Okay, so today we're having our disability webinar. That's what you're on right now. And we're launching the Wally Disability Podcast episode today as well. So you're going to see that in your inbox before we close up shop today. So you should listen to his interview. It's 1 hour, and he's going to share what works and what doesn't for him. Some great stuff. Also, I'm going to point out Gary Vaynerchuk on the bottom right corner. He's second from the last. That guy is the social media guru right now. In today's times, there's no one that markets better than Gary V. In fact, he was just on the Jimmy Kimmel show. The guy is a beast. They have over 2,000 to 3,000 employees now in New York City. They are crushing it. They were responsible for 2 Super Bowl commercials this past year. So anyway, check out his interview, and then we have some others that are freaking awesome. Forbes 400, Jeff Levitet's great story. Check it out, though. I want to hear from you. We put a lot of time and resources into these different episodes, and my only goal is that our agents love what they're hearing, okay? And if you want to see something different, or maybe you have an idea for a different episode, please share, okay? Because that's what I gain from, that's what I walk away with, is seeing all of you happy and inspired. To me, that's a win-win. This is all free on your favorite podcast channel. You can go to YouTube, you can go to our website, whatever works for you, but check it out when you get a chance and let me know your thoughts. Okay, without further ado, we have, in my opinion, one of the best disability specialists in the industry today, Mr. Bob Herman, is taking it from here. Great stuff. Bob, you there?
Thanks, Bill. Appreciate the opportunity.
Of course, thank you.
It's interesting. It's interesting, Bill. One of the things that we talk about going into this next decade in our industry is the training that needs to take place in our business. We have, gotten away from that, especially in our world. Most of agents and advisors today tend to gravitate towards the investment side of the business. That's the sexier part of it. But that risk management piece, the life and disability piece that most of our clients don't pay attention to on a daily basis, are the things that they need, or decisions or information they need to at least hear. And I'm thankful for you and Joe for giving us this opportunity to share some of these ideas today. It's interesting too that one of the most, I always say the 3 common objections that we hear to income protection from our clients is, number one, they don't think it's ever going to happen to them. That's number one. In today's world, what's going on, I think it's pretty prevalent that there's something like this that can happen to a whole lot of people. And we've gotten more phone calls, as Bill had said, in regards to illustration requests, but more importantly, questions in regards to, would this be covered? And absolutely, it's an illness that we contend with. And the other question that we get too is, if somebody applies today, is there going to be an exclusion on the policy? And as long as they're not diagnosed with anything, there's no exclusion on the contract. If they were diagnosed with something, we would postpone underwriting until they were back to work full-time and healthy. But again, the opportunity I think that we want to talk about is where do we find these opportunities today? Where in the disability space, where do you go? And I think a couple of things come to mind. First of all, we always say that in the disability space, anybody that goes to work each and every day between the age of 25 and 55 is a prospect, right, for income protection. And are we having that conversation with those clients? More importantly, are we consistent with our message? Are we constantly bringing up with our customer, not just once, but each and every time? Because our clients are going to say no. They are going to say no, and we know this all the time. It happens every day. But are we doing our job and following up with those clients on our annual reviews? Hey, we talked about this last year, Joe, protecting your income. You didn't think it was a good time. You thought it was too expensive. You mentioned it had something else going on at the time. It's our job to continue to bring that message to our clients because things change with our clients' lives each and every day. They get married, they have a child, they buy a home, they open a business. One of their friends had become sick or hurt, one of their family members. So things change, and all of a sudden, this subject becomes relevant. So I think that's most important. Be consistent. Talk about it with each and every person. On that first slide that Joe holds up here, there's a number of occupations that I'm going to touch on a few of these today. But as far as these sales tips are concerned, I just talked about one of them, discussing that risk protection, make it a part of every conversation. But I think the other one that's most important is having some passion. The folks that do a good job of selling this stuff have a tremendous amount of conviction. And it's you call it passion, whatever you want, but it's contagious. And as we go through this exercise today, I think what you would like to do, those that are good at doing this, is develop some type of niche, some type of marketplace where you can kind of create critical mass to find more and more prospects to talk to on a daily basis. The more critical mass that you form in a specific marketplace, the better you get at it. More importantly, the more you understand about the marketplace. I would also say in regards to this passion is that those that have written quite a bit of disability insurance, when they get into a certain space, they know everything about those clients. And I'll use as an example, maybe a dentist or a veterinarian. A dentist, as an example, a lot of these producers know the schools that they go, the amount of debt that they take on, the concerns that these kids have when they come out of school, primarily, how am I going to pay off this loan? Am I doing the right things? The average loan that they take out. But I think all of these become part of their general knowledge of that marketplace. They know everything about these people's careers and what they go through, what their next opportunities. Are they going to specialize? Are they going to the general dentistry? And they use all those keywords and buzzwords within their industry, and they become the person. Right? They become the expert in that space. And it's almost like you create credibility that they're turning to these folks. I got to talk to Joe. I got to talk to Joe. He knows what's going on. So kind of keep that in mind as we go through this. If you want to flip Joe, you want to flip one of those slides there? Yeah. And if you don't mind, go one more. I'm going to use as an example this first one as far as architects are concerned. Certainly it's a top occupation class for us. It's one of our better classifications. 6A occupation class is what most of our architects are. But here's in this piece, like I said before, whether it's a dental resident or a dental student or a veterinarian, this will give you some idea. An average income for an architect is almost $80,000. What do they have to go through as far as education is concerned? What are the type of licensing requirements that they have? What are the different specialties in regards on the left-hand side? You'll see these types of architects that there are, whether it's institutional, residential, even landscape, becomes more prevalent down here in Florida. I know you guys, they'll cover pretty much most of the country with your folks, but it is certainly a topic down here in Florida, but commercial and industrial too. And then if you go to the other side, where do you find these guys? Some of their local association or chapters that they may participate in, and how you might get involved with some of those associations. Become a resident expert. See if you become a speaker. Get involved within their newsletters and see if you can write some things about, to these guys, relevant information, important information they need to know about risk management. If you want to slip past a couple more on here, Joe, attorneys is another big marketplace for us, and you'll see not only within the attorneys in regards to the same types of things on the left-hand side of this thing. If you go up one more, they're great centers of influence too for our business, sharing ideas with these attorneys that maybe we can help not only that particular attorney, but their clients. And, the types of structures that they're in as far as their business is concerned, how these guys are compensated and how they generate revenue. These are all important things that we understand about these clients and what they go through. So you can talk their talk when you're sitting down with them. Don't take it for granted. It's very important that you understand these things. If you flip over a couple more here, Joe. Accountants and CPAs, go one more. Business owners has always been a great marketplace for disability insurance. These guys know that they're the ones that show, the reason why they generate income is because they're the ones that are showing up each and every day. They're the drivers behind these businesses. And there's many different products that we bring to the table that can address some of these concerns that they may have. And you'll see the different types of business structures that you have, whether it's a C Corp, an S Corp, a sole proprietor. And then product-wise, we've got 6 different products that come into play in regards to some of these business owners. Whether it's income protection, protecting their family first, which is always important, to things like overhead expense, making sure that they've got, in the event the door is shut and they can't go to work, that they got the rent paid for and the utilities, and they got something to come back to if it's only for a short period of time. Whether it's disability buyout, key person, and then we have a loan protection product too that comes into play. So the business owners, again, is a great marketplace that we can help a lot of different areas. I think one of the things that comes into play is not only, how do you say, the discounts, but, and I'm going to step back just for a minute, because a lot of the agents and advisors that I work with will tell me, Bob, disability insurance, it's certainly not going to make me a wealthy guy. Why am I going to sweat the small stuff? I could be working on these investments. I could be, working on a large life insurance case. And in our world, as long as I've been in this business, the challenge that every one of us has is prospecting. And don't say walking away from I don't want to say walking. We walk by more small stuff each and every day that leads us to other opportunities. That's the wonderful thing about our business. We have no idea how far we are away from a case like Bill had just mentioned, a $650,000 target premium life case, because we took the time to educate somebody about protecting their income, or we took the time to talk to a young professional why it's important to protect their income. A young professional is going to become a professional and make more money. We've got future purchase options that allow these guys to increase their benefits as time goes on, right? So we definitely want to make sure that we're telling that story to everybody. Don't walk by this small stuff, is what I'm saying. Small companies that we talk about in these business owners become bigger companies. I'll use this as an example. It's kind of a funny story. It doesn't happen all the time, but we have a client that we work with that wrote a small group of bank executives probably 15 years ago. And they did a supplemental case on top of their group insurance that the bank had purchased. And it probably generated maybe $15,000 of premium, which is a nice case for us. Well, as time has gone on, this bank has continued to grow and merge and continue to acquire more and more banks. Last year alone, just last year, because of the eligible class, they added, because of mergers and acquisitions, more people to this eligible class that generated a premium of over $204,000 of premium just on new additions to the group. So although that thing started as a small case, over 15 years, it has evolved into a tremendous case. And not only that, you think about the opportunities of getting in front of all these people, right? Not only with income protection, but all the other tools that you guys bring to the table on a daily basis, whether it's the life insurance needs, long-term care needs, investment needs that they may have, annuities, whatever it might be. So again, disability insurance, because as Bill had mentioned, and all the things that he rattled off, there's so many people that need this stuff. And unfortunately today, we don't have enough advisors that are talking about it. We don't have enough advisors that are bringing this subject up on a consistent basis. Okay, granted, I'll give you the fact that we've got a lot of advisors that call on doctors. Well, doctors know they need it. They're going to buy it. It's just a matter of from whom they're buying it. You don't have to sell them on the need for it. But go outside of that medical space, and everybody and their brother needs this stuff, and nobody's talking to them about it. So not only does it open the door, but it gives you the entree to bring other products into the mix. That's kind of my little rant in regards to don't walk by small stuff. If you flip the page, Joe, I want to go through a couple more of these things in regards to this one right here. Employees of large companies, you know, we do, you know, another objection that we hear from our clients is they say it's never going to happen. Well, we say certainly they say it's never going to happen to them. But one of the other objections is I've got something through my employer. We can't take that at face value and assume these folks are taken care of. We've got to take the time to educate them in regards to their benefits and how they work. I was with an advisor not too long ago in Orlando, and he says, "Oh, I work with only executives within, you know, this Disney marketplace, and they don't, you know, they've already got something through their employer." I started asking questions about their group plan. He had no idea how it worked. So how do you assume that they're taken care of? So most group insurance plans, right, they cover a percentage of income. Do our clients know that that benefit may be taxable? Do they know that there's a limit to how much benefit that they're going to make? Maybe there's a cap of $5,000 and they have no idea. In this particular example, we've got somebody making $75,000 a year. After taxes, they're making $4,600 a month. Their group benefit's going to provide them 60% of that $75,000, which is $3,750. After taxes, they're down on their group benefit to $2,800. So they were working or operating on $4,600 a month. Now they're down to $2,800. And we have the ability to supplement additional benefits on top. In this case, it's $1,400. But let me tell you something. It's not just the fact that it's just $1,400. It might be a small sale, but it opens the door now for all the other employees. If you can offer a discount to those, if we have 3 or more lives at a common employer, we can offer a discount to all those employees. Now we get access to maybe 100 employees that we can speak to in regards to not only their income protection, but anything else that we offer. Why is it important? As I mentioned, maybe they don't know the benefit is taxable. Maybe they don't know there's a cap and this spread might be bigger. Maybe some of the incentive compensation isn't covered that they're paid. But I think the biggest one that most people don't pay attention to is the hidden expenses that they're faced with. And if I become sick or hurt at the principal, at some point in time, well, I'll tell you, at 6 months, we become ex-employees. When you become an ex-employee, you lose your health insurance. Now, you have the ability to keep it through COBRA premiums, right? And we all know that those premiums don't go down. They go up. And the question is, I've gone from $4,600 of net income down to $2,800, and now I'm faced with health insurance premium that I had no anticipation of paying. And do you think if somebody's flat on their back and they're out of work because of some illness or injury that they're going to get rid of their health insurance? So again, these are reasons why we want to supplement these group plans. And again, aside from all that, that $1,400 that we provide is an individual contract. And in our world, all of our contracts are non-cancelable, guaranteed, renewable. Nobody can change that policy, regardless of the client's health. If their health changes, we can't change the premiums. If their job changes, we can't change the premiums, their job classification. If their income changes, we can't change the benefit amount. We're obligated to pay that benefit. So that client controls, in our world, there's not a lot of guarantees that are out there. Certainly in our world there is in regards to an individual contract. But then you've got some also future purchase options. I know you guys pay attention to this on the life insurance side, whether it's converting term insurance or having purchase options on life contracts. It's no different for income protection, right? We want to get them a policy today. I don't care how much it is, because now we can lock up their insurability going forward without ever having to arm wrestle with an underwriter again. I get it one time and I'm done. And believe me, you guys all know it, but our clients don't appreciate it. The tremendous benefit that we've given those folks and the fact that they never have to go through underwriting again, right? So employees of large companies can be pretty lucrative. And I continue to throw out some of these examples because of cases that we've worked on. Just recently, we had a case with a technology company that they wrote 12 individual contracts on the partners of the group. Now, it was employer paid, but they also wanted to offer to all the other employees. They had over, I think it's 270 employees are doing it on a voluntary basis now. But who wouldn't take that opportunity to talk to 270 people about protecting their income or anything else? Joe, if you wouldn't mind, flip that page again. I do want to get down to, in regards to, we can go again, in regards to our government employees. There you go. This is good information for us to understand also, whether they're a federal employee, the benefits they may have access to as far as disability, or a state and local government employee that they may have access to. So it's good to know what benefits that they have available to them, but to educate those folks in regards to how it works and then what they're eligible for. This always used to be a tough spot for us in our industry of how much we can provide, but they've really loosened up a lot of the rules that we used to have. So there's more opportunity for benefits on these government employees. And here's the other cool thing too. As I mentioned, you need 3 lives to establish a discount. 3 lives from a common employer. So if you run across somebody as an example that has, works for the state, and you find 3 people that work for that state, whether they're teachers, you have access now to every person that you can offer a discount to as long as they're paid from the state. You've got the discount established for all of them. Unisex rates, 20% discount. It's a pretty cool opening for opportunities for marketing discounts though. So it's even a broader scale when you get into the government employees. If you want to flip the page again, Joe. Hopefully this is giving you a little bit of sense, and I'm going to wrap up with this last one in regards to the IT and computer professionals. Again, this is another area of tremendous growth, at least from our world. We talk about medical and attorneys, but the IT profession has been a tremendous amount. We've had a lot of success with these folks. They tend to be conceptual in nature. Once they buy in or understand the reasons to protect your income, they're in. A lot of these guys are 1099 contractors, so they don't have access to the benefits packages that a lot of people do. They understand the value of the protecting their income. And I think the other thing is you can get connected in some of these, I call them think tanks or almost petri dishes. When I was in Chicago, there was one of the buildings in the city used to have many different IT people that were in there, and whether it was a single individual programmer or 2 or 3 people, it was almost like this think tank where somebody would say, hey, I need some help with this particular project, and all of a sudden these 2 people get together, 2 or 4 people, and it blossoms into a company. There's a lot of those places that are around that kind of network in that fashion. So you can find opportunities with their local associations. But they're a great group that we've seen a lot of growth in. And occupation classification wise, they're our best occupation class. So they're a 6A occupation class as long as they're making $85,000 or more, which is a great space for us. Now, I'm going to switch gears on one of the things in regards to underwriting. And I think Bill had kind of alluded to this a little bit in the beginning. One of the concerns that we've had, obviously recently with the coronavirus is what about all the blood and urine that's required and some of this stuff? Most of our clients are going to kind of stay away from that stuff. The nice thing about disability insurance, at least with the principal, if we have a client between the age of 18 and 50 that's buying $6,000 of benefit or less, there's no blood or urine required. no financial documentation that's required either. We do a telephone interview, we check the motor vehicle report, the MIB, and we do a script check, and we make our underwriting decision based off of that information alone. What's nice is you can move the product quickly, you're not sticking the client, you can not have to worry about some of our clients' concerns, especially in today's world. That simplified underwriting is a great tool. And the nice thing also is there's no change in regards, it's the same product, it's the same pricing, you're not giving anything up from a consumer standpoint. Compensation's all the same too, you're not giving anything up. And then one other thing in regards to simplified, if we have 3 or more lives, whether we talk about government employees or a large company or even a middle, small, medium-sized company, we write 3 lives at many of those. Once you have 3 lives, our simplified underwriting goes from 18 to 50 to 18 to 64. So it's a broader group that you can now apply that simplified underwriting to. So just kind of keep that in mind in regards to the underwriting aspect of it. There's certainly a lot of things that we have in place that can alleviate some of the concerns that our clients may have. I think it's a great time to have these conversations, more so than ever. It's a relevant, it's in the forefront of people's minds. As I mentioned before, it's a concern that people don't think it's going to happen to them. And I think more days that people feel vulnerable, that this is something that can occur. I heard one guy tell me yesterday that he said he'd rather be dead than broke. It's an interesting concept. He says, if you think about it, I don't even want to be around any money coming in the door. But how much our lives revolve around the source of income that we have each and every day, and it's even becoming more relevant, right? And Bill, I'm gonna leave with one particular example. I think it's irrelevant in our business. I read this book recently called Living with a Seal. I don't know if anybody out there has read this book. It's an interesting story about this guy who was training for marathons. He ran quite a few of them. And he runs across this Navy SEAL who catches his attention, I'll say. And he hires this guy to live with him for a month. In the course of the month that he lives in, and read this book. It's a good story, good read. But there's 4 things I take away from that book. It relates to our business. Number 1, we've all got to be uncomfortable each and every day. Uncomfortable, whether we're making phone calls that we don't want to make, commit to something. We all have to be uncomfortable. If we're comfortable every day, we're doing something wrong. Number 2, we limit ourselves each and every day to this block on top of our shoulders. We limit ourselves to about 40% of our capability because we talk ourselves out of so much. I'm not going to call that guy now. He's probably at lunch. I'm not going to call that guy now. He's probably, it's Friday afternoon. We limit or talk ourselves out of so many things on a daily basis. And that's another thing I learned from this book. And I think another one is, we get overwhelmed with the big picture sometimes, but yet just focus on the next thing at hand. If I'm trying to do 1,000 push-ups in a day, I only need to worry about the next one. I don't need to worry about all of them at one time. Just worry about the next thing in front of you. But with all that being said, the most important thing, at 30 days or 31 days, this SEAL walks away. He leaves this guy, right? And he's now on his own. And it's at that point in time that it's upon yourself to continue to develop the discipline to do this on a daily basis. Your job, Bill, Joe, and I all understand, is not an easy job. It's difficult to get up each and every day and call people and talk about a subject that they don't want to talk about. But if you can develop those disciplines, right, and commit to something that most people aren't going to do, we've got to have the drive to get up each and every day to do it. There's going to be nobody there to cheer you along the way. That guy leaves after 30 days. He's not cheering and giving you encouragement every day. It's up to us to bring that encouragement and drive each and every day. So that's all I wanted to kind of wrap up with. I appreciate the opportunity. Any questions that we may have?
Yeah, that was great, Bob. By the way, that author's name is Jesse Itzler, and the Navy SEAL is David Goggins, is who he hired to live with basically, and then write the book.
Yeah.
It's an amazing story. And by the way, on that note, that David Goggins, who is the Navy SEAL he's talking about, He has a book called Can't Hurt Me that is outstanding. And it just really makes you put things in perspective. And even, what we're all going through now after hearing this David Goggins story, and I hate to make light of it, but it seems like this is a walk in the park compared to the way that this guy lives his life every day. You will not believe it. It's unfreaking believable. So yeah, check that out when you get a chance. Yeah, it is a great book, great story. I'm glad you brought that up, Bob. Okay, so we do have a closed line, so because of the number of attendees on. So if anyone does have questions or we need to get Bob involved on a call, we have no problem with that. Just call our marketing department or shoot us an email, and we can set that up for you. No problem at all. I loved it. Those were some great strategies that Bob shared, different ideas around the DI market. And what I want to show everyone next, and Bob, by the way, thanks again for sharing. Great stuff as usual.
You're welcome.
And good luck with everything. Yep, of course. So I want to show you, obviously, Principal is our core DI carrier, okay, for many, many reasons. When you think white collar DI, small businesses, we think Principal, okay? I just want to point that out right off the bat. Plus, they have an e-app, so selling over the phone, no problem. They have you covered. Let's move over to the top left corner there. We're going to start on the impaired risk disability side, even straight up guaranteed issue. So we have Assurity Life, Fidelity Security Life, Lloyd's of London, and then guaranteed issue with SureBridge, okay, which, by the way, yes, you can sell SureBridge over the phone. They're also on our direct-to-consumer InsureMeNowDirect.com platform. Okay, so you can literally be on the phone with a client, send them to your link or email them your link. They can run the quote, they can sign up online and get an instant approval. Okay, that's simple. Let's move over to the middle column there. For the blue collar side, we have Mutual of Omaha, Assurity, and Illinois Mutual. They are the go-to blue collar DI carriers. On the right side, of course, Principal again at the very top. And then right under Principal, we have Mass Mutual and Guardian. And again, the green asterisk means e-app selling over the phone is preferred. So great stuff for this time that we're dealing with right now. On the top right corner, all the way across, we're going to go to National Guardian Life and SureBridge. Those are both on our direct-to-consumer platform that, by the way, especially at a time like this, I hope you have your Amazon type of platform up and running today. That's Insure Me Now Direct. And we literally have over 10 products now. Okay, we're launching the 4th and 5th carrier in 2 weeks here. So make sure that's up and running. It's free. There's no reason or excuse to not have that up and running. And if you're face-to-face, you can literally pull out your iPhone, laptop, tablet. If they're in another state, okay, send them an email with your link. If they're on the whole other side of the country, you can literally send them a link to your website, have them run quotes whenever time and day they want. They can purchase a policy right from your site in minutes. Most of the products are instant decision, and half of them are electronic policy delivery. So 0 agent involvement, plus you get full commissions and renewals on some of the products as well. Bottom right corner, we're going to shift gears and go over to life insurance with living benefits, including disability riders. We have Assurity, Mutual of Omaha, Foresters, Transamerica, Life of the Southwest, and more. So that is a total of 11 straight up disability carriers, in my opinion, the top blue and white collar options that are available in today's insurance space. So 11 carriers, all from Levinson. We have direct contracts. If you're ready to get started, or you're already up and running and you need quotes, or you need some help with the e-apps or selling over the phone, just let us know. We have a full marketing department, 21 people now that are here to help you, okay? All right, let's move forward here. Joe is going to show you how to start finding prospects by utilizing our database of millions and millions of potential clients for you. Joe?
Yep, thanks, Bill. So I want to show everybody real quickly here one of the best prospecting tools that agents have been able to take advantage of, and that's our Agency Automator CRM platform. So inside of Agency Automator, of course, yes, it's a CRM that houses all of your client data, all their policy information, birthdays, policy anniversaries, conversion opportunities, and it has that email marketing tool built into it as well. But one thing that a lot of agents overlook is the built-in prospecting system. And Bob kind of hit on a couple different occupations and things that we can target. Inside of Agency Automator, you've got two different prospecting databases you can access. You've got the consumer database, which is just over 28 million records, and then the business owner database, which is just over 6.7 million records. So you can actually go into that database, drill down on specific demographic industry codes. For example, if you want to go after those attorney type clients, you can market just those clients that are attorneys. Even if they have 5+ employees and been in business for 5 or more years, you can actually pull that specific list. You're going to get name, phone number, email address, physical address, and all the details associated with that prospect or business owner. You can even get their specific email addresses for all their domains. So if there's an HR department, you can actually target market that as well. So in this example, I went in, I put in the office zip code here. I picked a 25-mile radius. I went in and basically looked at specific industry codes, for example, the attorney's office, and I got over 500 hits. So I could then export those into a separate marketing list and then use all these different sales ideas and products, especially ones that Bob just covered, to specifically target market those attorneys and the type of DI coverage they're looking for, those additional purchase options, everything included in all those different product features and riders to kind of put together a complete package for those specific prospects. Here's an example of some of those different lead lists you can actually pull. It's going to have all their contact information. So the biggest question I get from agents is, of course, how do I find new prospects? How do I find new leads? What lead systems are working now for agents? And I always go back to Agency Automator because this is a great database of local people you can market to, and not only just market insurance in general, but a very, very specific niche product that based on their age, their income, their net worth, and their level of education, they're more likely to purchase. So you're really creating your own custom marketing list through Agency Automator, one of the most powerful marketing tools I think we have in this industry.
Okay, good stuff, Joe. So if you're not taking advantage too of that client list, we were saying that there's an opportunity of 90 million potential prospects that do not have disability coverage. That is a huge opportunity. We have a few million of that 90 million in our database that you can leverage, start calling on now, okay? And by the way, if you come across anyone when you're making your calls or circling back to your book of business, whatever the case is, and you have someone ready to go and they need a quote, you want to sign them up with our e-app, whatever, or drop ticket even for that matter, or if you just want to check on your current cases and check a status or licensing even, you can go to the Levinson app. It's a free app, okay? If you go into the App Store on your iPhone or on your Android-powered phone, no problem. Just go into the App Store, hit Levinson and Associates. That is a free download, and everything that you need is at your fingertips in real time. You can literally run a quote, sign up the client online. You can get a status back on your phone in the next day or two and see exactly where that application is in the underwriting process, okay? So if your phone's in front of you right now and you don't have the Levinson app, you're falling backwards, okay? Once again, it's riding a horse in New York City in 2020, which cannot happen, okay? So make sure you have the app on your phone. In fact, if you don't have it, don't do it now. Wait about 3-4 minutes here before we close, then you can download the app. All right, but seriously, if you have any questions, let us know. I want to make sure that you have everything up and running on your smartphone or tablet or laptop. It's very simple, easy to use, and again, it's free, so no excuse there. All right, let's move on. So agent training events, that's what you're on right now, and these are very, very important. And the way I look at it, if you are spending this 45 minutes with us live, which most of you are, some of you will see this recorded after the fact, but either way, the way I look at this, and I think it's so important, if you just learned about a new sales idea or strategy in the DI world from Bob, or you picked up some info about a new tool or technology that we offer, it's a win. Okay, and you think about, there's so many other things people are watching, Netflix and reruns of movies and looking at old family pictures. Yes, that's all great, and I hope you're enjoying the time with your family and loved ones. but at the same time, let's learn a little something and change our business for the better, right? I mean, we're going to get through all of this, hopefully within a month or so, and even if it's a little longer, fine, but you want to come out of the other side shining. So make sure you're taking all of this in and learning something new. I look at it like every single day I have to learn something new. As soon as you think that, oh, I got this, and there's nothing else I can learn about this industry, I've been doing it for 42 years, well, guess what? You might as well drive in reverse, okay? Close shop. Because in this business especially, you are learning day in and day out, and that's why we have these live trainings. So every single day, 2 p.m. Eastern, Kevin, who's one of our programmers, is hosting these live trainings. You can have your assistant on. These are open forums, and it gives you a chance to ask questions and have your admin or son or daughter, grandkids on, anyone that can help you with your marketing and technology. So as you see, every day we pick a different topic. If you like that database that Joe showed you, where you can tap into millions of prospects, that literally is every Thursday, 2 p.m. Jump on, register on the calendar on our main website, and start listening and learning now. The new online safe deposit box platform that we offer, it's free for all Levinson agents. It's called Legacy Armor. Make sure you're on those webinars. Every Wednesday, 2 p.m., the owner, CEO of the platform hosts these calls just for our agents to make sure you're comfortable. So again, take advantage. Okay, second to last slide here. These are the most important trainings, in my opinion, and I'm going to explain to you why. Joe, if you can mute that phone, that would be great. I'm getting a little background noise there. Okay, the most important one is March 24th, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. That's Tuesday, okay? The following Tuesday, it's very important, and we're going to go over all of our technology and platforms to make sure you are comfortable selling over the phone, especially right now with what's going on. Our e-apps, our drop tickets, our Insure Me Now Direct platform. We're going to talk about the new products that we're launching a week away from that Tuesday. Okay, we're going to show you how to use GoToWebinar, which is what you're on right now. We're going to show you some other tips and tricks and share with you. We have a 3-part training series that we did with Todd Ewing. He's one of the best online or selling over the phone sales coaches in our industry today, bar none. Okay, so we're going to dive into those 3 platforms, and then what we're going to do, as you know, we postponed our expo, okay, unfortunately, because of the coronavirus, but what I wanted to do was take our keynote speaker, Joe Ross, and I invited him to jump on the same day as the expo would have been on the 3rd, April 3rd, and go over for 1 hour his keynote presentation, and the topic is opening new doors to make more insurance and annuity sales, folks. He's going to do the same thing on this 1-hour webinar that he was going to do live at the expo. So you're getting the same exact keynote on that webinar. That's Friday, April 3rd, 2 p.m. Eastern. The day before, which is April 2nd, we're going to dive into all of the new updates that we were going to share at the expo. So here, you're getting all of the pluses and the sizzle from the live expo, but in the convenience of your 3rd bedroom or your garage that you converted into a home office, or from your office if you're still working, whatever the case is. But write that down. April 2nd and 3rd, that is going to be basically a webinar version of our expo. And then next Tuesday, 2 p.m., we're going to dive into all of the tools that we have available for you to sell online and over the phone. Okay, our last slide here, we're also going to ask the question of the day, and we're going to pick our winner, whoever answers first and correctly. The question is, make sure your little fingers are on your keyboard. How many disability carriers does Levinson offer to you? We went over it on the slide earlier. How many carriers do we have that offer disability to our agents? Whoever picks the number of carriers wins their choice of the Amazon Echo or tablet. Joe, did anyone get it right? And if so, share their name and state.
Yep, Ken T. from Florida.
Ken T. from Florida, congratulations. The number was 11, by the way. We have 11 direct IMO contracts with disability dedicated carriers. Okay, we're going to send out these slides and brochures and all the information we went over today. If you don't get the email before the close of business, that means there's a problem with your email. It's in your junk folder, or we have your wrong email address. So call us or let us know so we can get that fixed. We're going to end on a positive note. Okay, and I want to say one last thing. I wish everyone, all of our Levinson agents, everyone on this call, a safe time through this difficult experience for all of us. And, you know, we're here to help you. Try to stay positive. Watch our trainings, be on our webinars, and if you can make a few sales along the way and help some families, it's a win-win in my opinion. We're going to end with this Positive Tuesday quote. It's always the hard times that make you appreciate the good times that much more. Try to see the light. Good luck. Take care. Thank you again for joining us, and good selling. Take care.